Hello, whisperers. Welcome to the channel. If you enjoy tonight's tale, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It helps more than you know. Now, dim the lights, and let's begin tonight's story. I woke choking on the taste of copper. My mouth was full of it, thick and slick, and when I wiped my lips, my hand came away red. The room around me stank like old antiseptic and rust, a cocktail of blood and bleach that crawled into my nose and stayed there. Fluorescent lights buzzed above me, one flickering, one already dead. The walls were steel, but not clean steel, mottled, flaking, scratched by things that didn't look like tools. My head throbbed. I didn't know how I got here. I didn't even know who had left me here. There was a door, heavy, with a slit window. I put my ear to it and listened. Nothing. Silence so complete it was worse than noise. My own heartbeat sounded too loud. I pushed the door open. The hallway was long, sterile, lined with doors sealed by magnetic locks. Some had warning labels half peeled away. Containment, a biohazard, do not enter. The floor was polished enough to reflect the ceiling lights in smeared streaks. I stepped forward, and my shoes squeaked. The sound shot down the corridor like a gunshot. That's when I heard it. At first I thought it was the ventilation kicking on, a low hum, guttural, vibrating through the walls, but then it shifted. The sound breathed, a wet inhale, a ragged exhale. The hair on my arm stood up. Something was down here with me. I forced myself to keep walking, even though my knees wanted to fold. Every door I tried was locked. The silence between breaths grew shorter, and my chest tightened. The hall bent to the left, and I followed it, whispering to myself, it's nothing, just machines. Then the lights flickered, once, twice. On the third flicker, I saw it. At the end of the hall, framed by the dying strobe of fluorescence, stood a figure too tall for the ceiling. Its horns scraped the panels overhead, curling like black bone. Its body wasn't solid. It shifted, blurred, like smoke forced into the shape of a man. The only thing that burned clear were its eyes, twin red furnaces, staring at me, unblinking. I froze. My breath hitched and caught loud in the silence. It moved, not fast, worse, deliberate, each step a weight that made the floor groan. Its shoulders brushed the walls, its head cocked to the side like it was studying me. I ran. I don't even remember choosing to. My body just took off, slamming into the wall, bouncing forward, shoes squealing on the wet floor. The hall stretched, bent, felt endless. Behind me, the steps picked up, heavy, relentless. I found a door with a cracked keypad, smashed my shoulder into it. It gave. The room inside was a lab, tables overturned, glass broken, a smell of rot that made me gag. I shoved the door shut and pressed my back to it. Silence. Then, scraping, a claw or a horn dragging across the steel. a low growl reverberating through the door like thunder. My teeth rattled in my skull. I backed away, eyes scanning the room. A shattered syringe, a toppled cabinet, a vent too small to crawl through. My pulse hammered in my throat. The door handle twitched. Once, twice. On the third, it turned. I screamed. The door burst inward, and the thing filled the frame, its horns gouging the walls, its burning eyes drilling into me. The stench of ash and sulfur poured into the room. Its shadow fell over me like a curtain, swallowing everything. I had no weapon, no plan, just a mouth open wide and a body frozen in the corner. It came closer. The last thing I saw before it reached me was its jaw, unhinging, impossibly wide, lined with teeth that weren't teeth but shards of bone, endless, jagged. And then, nothing. I woke choking on the taste of copper. Again. For a moment, I thought I was dreaming, caught in some half-memory of the nightmare I'd just had. Same antiseptic stench, same hum of broken fluorescence, same buzzing in my skull. I touched my lips and found blood. My stomach lurched. No, I died. The thought didn't fit. It wasn't a guess. It was something I remembered in my bones. The creature, the door, those red eyes. I staggered to my feet, heart racing, and pushed out into the hallway. Every detail was the same. The peeling hazard labels, the squeak of my shoes, even the way the air tasted like rust. My body trembled. I wasn't reliving a dream. I was back, not wasting time this time. I turned the other way down the corridor, left instead of right. The hum came again, that guttural, breathing thrum through the walls. My skin prickled. I needed something to fight with, something better than bare hands. A security station sat halfway down the hall, its door ajar. Inside was chaos, overturned chair, shattered monitors, blood pooled in sticky streaks underfoot. A pistol sat on the desk, not clean, dark flecks on the grip, but still whole. My hand shook as I picked it up. I'd never held one before, but I felt stronger just gripping it. The monster's steps thundered behind me, closer this time. I raised the pistol, arms quaking. The thing rounded the corner, horns dragging against steel, sparks raining down, its eyes locked on me. I fired. The sound was deafening, swallowing my scream. The first bullet tore into its chest. Smoke billowed thick and oily, but the monster didn't slow. I fired again and again. Shell casings rattled on the floor like coins. For a heartbeat, I thought it was working. Holes blossomed in its body, lightless voids, edges glowing faintly red. It staggered, a horrible groan rattling out of its throat. Then it lunged. The distance between us disappeared in an instant. Its shadow fell over me. Its horns punched through the wall on either side of my head, pinning me like an insect. Its furnace eyes burned into mine. I pulled the trigger until the hammer clicked dry. Nothing. Its jaw split open, teeth unfurling in rows, bone shards grinding against bone. The smell of sulfur flooded my lungs. I tried to scream, but its hand, massive, black, not quite solid, closed over my mouth and chin, cold, crushing. There was a wet snap as my jaw gave. Then darkness. I woke choking on copper. The scream caught in my throat. I forced it down, pressing my palm against my mouth. My body remembered the snap of my jaw, the way bone folded like wet wood. I felt it, even though it wasn't broken anymore. This was no dream. It was a cycle. I've been here before. The antiseptic sting, the flickering fluorescence, the copper tang. Every detail was etched into me now. And every detail meant I had maybe minutes before it found me. Not this time. I didn't go left or right. I looked up. The ceiling was lined with vents, panels loose from neglect. I dragged a chair under one, climbed, and forced it open. The metal screamed, but I didn't care. I had to try something different. The air duct was narrow, scraping my elbows raw as I crawled. My breath echoed inside it, ragged and loud. Beneath me, the hallway stretched out, same as always. Then I heard it, the monster's breath, that inhuman rumble. I froze. From the grate below, I saw it move, taller than the corridor, horns leaving gouges in steel. Its eyes glowed like molten coals, scanning. It stopped, head cocking, as if listening. It knows. I crawled faster, deeper into the vent system. Heat built around me, the air thick and stifling. Sweat stung my eyes. Somewhere up ahead, I saw light bleeding through another grate. I kicked it open and dropped into a lab. This room was different. Rows of glass tanks, shattered fluid slick on the floor. Something had been kept here. Something worse, maybe. My stomach turned. On the counter, I found what looked like a nail gun, jury-rigged into a weapon, compressor attached with duct tape, heavy, awkward, but usable. My hands wrapped around it, greedy. I almost laughed. Now I've got a chance. I rigged a trap. Wires from the lab tables stretched across the entrance, connected to a toppled oxygen tank, and the nail gun jury-rigged as a trigger. I crouched behind a cabinet, breath shallow, every nerve screaming. The monster came. First the scrape of horn, then the thud of weight. It stepped into the lab, red glow spilling across shattered glass. It hit the wire. The tank exploded forward, slamming into its chest. Nails fired point blank, tearing into its body. For a moment, the monster staggered, smoke pouring out of the holes. I felt triumph. A wild, choking laugh almost escaped me. Then it straightened, slowly. Nails pushed out of its flesh like splinters. Holes closed with a wet hiss. Its head turned toward me, impossibly slow, like it had been waiting for me to finish celebrating. It crouched low, forcing its bulk through the wreckage, moving with a horrible, deliberate patience. The red glow lit the cabinet I was hiding behind. It knows where I am. I bolted. The lab door slammed open as I sprinted down the hall, shoes slapping, lungs burning. Behind me, thunder. Not footsteps anymore, something bigger, something faster. I risked a glance. The monster wasn't walking anymore. It was crawling. On all fours, its horns gouging sparks into the floor, its eyes blazing straight at me. I didn't make it 10 steps before it was on me. I felt its jaws close around my waist, bones crunching like dry twigs. My scream was cut in half as it dragged me down the corridor, teeth sinking deeper, deeper, until everything was red and black and nothing. I woke choking on copper. I didn't scream this time. I laughed. It was a broken, ugly sound, scraping my throat raw. My hands shook as I pushed myself up. Same room, same stink, same damn hum of the lights. My skin crawled just existing here. I get it, I whispered. You win. You always win. But something inside me snapped. If I was going to keep dying, fine. I'd make it harder. I'd make it cost. I grabbed the chair and hurled it at the flickering light until sparks rained down. Glass shattered across the floor. I kicked the walls, slammed my fists against the steel until my knuckles split. My blood smeared across the door handle as I shoved it open. The corridor stretched ahead, sterile, endless. I didn't sneak this time, didn't tiptoe. I screamed into the dark. Come on, I fucking know you're there. My voice echoed off the walls, bouncing back warped and hollow. I staggered forward, laughter choking into sobs, sobs choking into more laughter. The sound came, the breath, the thunder of its steps. I ran, but not away, toward the control room. I'd noticed it before in flashes, blinking panels through the glass. If this place was a cage, maybe that was the lock. The door was half shut, jammed by debris. I shoved my shoulder into it, screaming, and burst inside. Rows of consoles flickered weakly, sparks snapping from torn wires. A wall of monitors stuttered between static and dead feeds. On one of them, I saw myself, standing in the room, looking up at the screen, the same torn jumpsuit, the same bloody hands, a dozen angles, all me. My stomach twisted, my vision swam. Then the feed shifted, every screen filled with red eyes. The room dimmed. I turned, and the glass wall behind me was black, not reflective, just black, like a curtain pulled across. Something pressed against it from the other side, horns bulging the surface. The glass trembled like water about to boil. Break it, I thought. Break the cycle. I grabbed a chair and smashed it against the console, ripping wires free. Sparks spat across the floor. I yanked a cable loose, jammed it into a flickering panel, and the whole room lit with a violent surge. The smell of ozone filled my lungs. The glass cracked. Red light bled through, brighter than any alarm. The monster's silhouette warped against it, its jaws opening wide enough to split the world in two. I didn't run. I screamed back at it. The glass shattered, the red poured in. A wall of fire and teeth. And then silence. Darkness. I woke choking on copper. This time there was no panic, no screaming, no laughing, just a steady, hollow acceptance. My body rose before my mind caught up, like it had rehearsed this moment 1,000 times. Every reset had left its mark. My jaw still ached from being broken. My ribs still felt cracked. My skin remembered teeth, claws, fire, ghost wounds. I carried them all, and I carried every lesson. The corridor stretched ahead. I didn't hesitate. Left first, down to the security station. The pistol on the desk, cleaned and reloaded. I checked it, slid it into my belt. Then the vents, climbing through, cutting across the ductwork, dropping into the lab. I scavenged nails, oxygen tank, wires, assembling them quick, hands moving like they belonged to someone else. Then the control room, panels sparking, monitors humming. I ignored them this time, didn't look at my reflection, didn't let the eyes on the screen sink into me. I knew where it would come from. The hallway thundered, horns scraping, sparks raining down, that guttural, wet breathing filling every inch of the air. My hands shook, but I stood my ground, the trap wired tight, the pistol ready. The door caved inward. It entered, all smoke and bone, those red eyes brighter than ever. I triggered the trap. The oxygen tank ignited in a roar, nails slamming into its body, fire tearing across the walls. It staggered. I fired shot after shot, every bullet ripping through smoke and shadow. It shrieked, a sound like metal screaming, like the building itself was being torn apart. I didn't stop, not until the pistol clicked empty. The monster collapsed, writhing, its horns cracking against the floor. The red glow in its eyes dimmed, flickered, went out. The smoke that made its body unraveled, dissolving into the ceiling like ash on the wind. I stood shaking, lungs burning, ears ringing in the silence. For the first time, there was silence. I laughed. I cried. My legs buckled and I fell to the floor, staring at the empty doorway. "It's over," I whispered. Then the lights flickered. Once, twice. On the third, the fluorescence hummed steady again. I froze. My breath caught. The copper taste filled my mouth. When I wiped my lips, my hand came away red, and the darkness closed in